Hello, students. Today, I'm going to discuss a very important topic which is prescribed generally in literary movements paper in most of the universities. It's a genre of drama and it's theater of the absurd. Uh, I have seen that this term is prescribed in different universities at different level, and we have also some texts which are prescribed at PG level. Those texts which are the representative texts of this kind of play. So let us now discuss the term theater of the absurd.
So, theater of the absurd. Theater of the absurd. Now, theater of the absurd, it emerged in France during 1950s. It's an important moment in 20th century drama. When you talk about 20th century, we talk about problem play, we talk about poetry drama, we talk about kitchen sink drama. This theater of the absurd is a post-World War II phenomenon. It was a movement which emerged in France. This genre arose out of a fascination with existentialism, as well as the popular ideas of Albert Camus, especially those ideas which were enumerated by him in his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus. So, The Myth of Sisyphus is an important essay written by Albert Camus. And the absurdist dramatists were inspired by this essay. Now, in this essay, Albert Camus states, and this is a very significant, sentence. He said the human situation is absurd. Human situation is absurd. It is devoid of purpose. Now, these two words are very significant. Human situation is essentially absurd, and it is devoid of purpose. This was said by Albert Camus in his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus. Before I proceed further, I would like to tell you about Sisyphus so that you can understand it better. Now, Sisyphus is a Greek mythological character. In Greek mythology, he was the founder and a king of a place which at present is known as Corinth. God Zeus, he punished him for cheating death twice by being forced to roll an immense boulder up a hill only for it to roll down every time it neared the top, repeating this action for eternity. So, a stone, a boulder, he had to roll up to a hill, and when it was reaching up the hill, it was rolling down. It was a punishment actually given by Jews to Sisyphus. Through the classical influence of modern culture, those tasks that are both laborious and futile are described as Sisyphean. If you say this is a Sisyphean task, it means though the work is very hard, though the work is very laborious, but it is futile. Because that boulder, that stone which was rolled by Sisyphus up to the hill, was rolling down. Now, this image of Sisyphus, this mythology of Sisyphus, Homer also used. Homer describes Sisyphus in his book 6 of Iliad, and also in book 11 of Odyssey. These are two epics. Ovid also describes this myth. And then here, Albert Camus, in his essay, Albert Camus, who is French absurdist writer, as I have just told you, he describes the character of Sisyphus in his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, and he says that he is an absurd hero. Now, the term absurd drama is applied, as I have just told you, to those dramatists who were very active during 1950s and 1960s, like Samuel Beckett. Samuel Beckett, Irish novelist, playwright, and short story writer. Or Arthur Adamo, Russian-born French dramatist. Or Eugene Ionesco, a Romanian French playwright. Or Jean Genet, French novelist and playwright. And Harold Pinter, British playwright, a Nobel Prize winner. So, whenever we describe absurd drama, we're talking about those writers who were writing during 1950s and 60s. The writers like Samuel Beckett, Arthur Adamo, Eugene Ionesco, Jean Genet, Harold Pinter. I'll tell you later, but in this context, I would like to tell you that Pinter, who was a Nobel Prize winner also, his best known plays include The Birthday Party, The Homecoming, and Betrayal. And generally, The Birthday Party is taken as an example of this. But whether you will consider this play as an example of absurd drama or not, so I would like to explain here that sometimes the word comedy of menace is used for this. Comedy of menace. Comedy of menace. But it is also taken as an absurd drama. The Birthday Party has been described by Irving, his full name is Irving Wardley, as Comedy of Menace, while another writer, Martin Eslin, described this as an absurd drama. Uh, Before proceeding further, I would also like to explain this word comedy of menace, because you must have heard comedy of, manners, comedy of humors. So, comedy of menace is a play in which the laughter of the audience in some or all situation is accompanied or immediately followed by a feeling of some impending disaster. That something, some disastrous is going to happen. So, Comedy of Manners is a play in which the laughter of the audience in some or all situation is accompanied or immediately followed by a feeling of some impending disaster. Now, this term was coined by Martin Eslin in the essay The Theatre of the Absurd. Now, these plays rejects the traditional elements of drama. And when we say traditional elements of drama, we are talking about, say, linear plot, realistic dialogue, recognizable setting, and all that. So they reject actually the traditional elements of drama. When I say linear plot, I mean a linear plot, consists of a series of events that have a clear beginning, middle, and end. You have already studied poetics, and the story unfolds in a chronological order. So this is actually the linear plot. Now, such kind of plays actually they reject the traditional elements, and if you want to see the absurd element, just read Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. This play, which was published in 1953, presents two tramps in a wasteland waiting in vain for an unidentified person whom they call Godot, whose existence is questioned by them every now and then. When you read the play, you will find out that it's a play in which two characters whose names are Vladimir and Estragon, they have engaged themselves in variety of discussions and just passing the time waiting a person whose identity is not known, and he is Godot. Let us now talk about the salient features of this kind of play. Now, number one is that absurd drama represents the disorientation of living in an unfriendly and hostile universe. Number two, it's a theater of situation as against a theater of sequential events. I have already told you, it's a theater of situation. Number three, the action in an absurd drama does not tell a story, but presents a pattern of images designed to reflect the perplexity of man's existence in this world. Next is, there is no plot or a story in the traditional sense. That is, we do not have the conventional structure here in these plays. Number five is, the plays often depict the emptiness, the hollowness, the nothingness of life. They're based on that. I have already given you the example of Waiting for Godot. Or you can read The Chairs by UNESCO. Next, the characters are depicted as being aimless and lost in a world that is beyond their comprehension. Number seven is sometimes the characters are depicted as terrorized by some external force, and we find this in Pinter's the birthday party. When you come to dialogues, what kind of dialogues are there? The dialogues are pointless, meaningless, and at times very funny. They also make sometimes the technological jargons, cliches, triteness, and baby talk. And next is that, slapstick. Slapstick is also a part of absurd drama. Slapstick is a type of physical comedy characterized by, broad humor, absurd situations, and vigorous, usually violent action. We find sometimes in Charlie Chaplin. So this slapstick is also a part of the absurd drama. So what we have discussed here is the theater of the absurd was basically a kind of genre, a kind of play which developed in 1950s and 1960s in France. I have also told you that in the 20th century we have the problem plays, we have the poetic drama, with the kitchen sink drama. This is another kind of drama, a theatre of the absurd. It's post-World War II drama. This kind of genre actually was inspired by existential philosophy, especially by Albert Camus, who expressed his views in the essay The Myth of Sisyphus, where he talked about human situation, that human situation is basically absurd, it is devoid of purpose. I also told you who Sisyphus is, that he is a Greek mythological character, and I told you what kind of punishment was given to Sisyphus by Zeus, and who gave the reference of Sisyphus in the different works. I also told you that how many absurdist dramatists are there. Like I gave you the reference of Samuel Beckett, Arthur Adamo, Eugene Ionesco, Jean Genet, Harold Pinter. Three important plays of Harold Pinter: The Birthday Party, The Homecoming, Betrayal. Whether The Birthday Party is absurd a play or not, for that I told you that very often it is called Comedy of Menace. And what is basically that, this was said by Irving Wadley at this play is a Comedy of Menace. Martin Asnin said that this play is the theatre of the absurd. I told you that theatre of the absurd basically rejected the traditional elements, especially the linear plot. And if you want to see this, just read Waiting for Godot, which was published in 1953, where Beckett describes two tramps, Vladimir and Estragon. Then I discussed some features of theatre of the absurd. So this much for today's discussion, and I hope you will enjoy this lecture, but keep on noting down the important points. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Thank you very much.